Hello guys, you are welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how I cut this beautiful two-piece you are watching on the screen right now. I'll be showing you in details of how I cut it. So if you are interested in this kind of tutorial, kindly stay back and watch this tutorial from beginning with me to the end. So let's get into it. So here is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial. This is a linen material. It's a linen material, and the length we are working with is the pant length. I'm going to be cutting the pant length. We are going to be working with the trouser first. So the length I'm working with is the length measurement of 18, the length measurement of 18, the lapse measurement of 20, 25. So but before we start, I'm going to trim off these parts that I'm trimming off right now. I'm going to trim it off because it's not straight, so I'm going to trim it off. So if you are cutting a trouser, the first thing you need to do is to fold your fabric into two. So I already fold this fabric you are watching on the table. I already fold it into two pieces. I just fold it just once. After you fold it, the first thing you need to work with is the length you are working with. So we're going to start with the length we are working with, and for the length, when placing my tape rule, I place it from 2. The reason why is because I'll be putting band, so I have to remove the band from there. So I place it from 2. Then the length I'm working with is the length measurement of 18, and after measuring the length, I'm going to plus 3 inches. I'm going to plus 3 inches. This 3 inches I'm putting is for the folding at the down part and the sewing allowance as well. For the sewing allowance and the folding at the down part, that's why I added good 3 inches to it. Now the next thing you're going to do is, if you measure your client ankle, that is the person ankle here, the leg. So for the leg, I'll be working with the leg measurements of 11 because it's on fold. So 11 on fold will give me 22. You understand? Now when you are placing it for the crush, when placing it, place it at 2. Make sure that you remove the band from when you are getting your crush. Make sure that you remove the band from it. Now our lapse is 20. Our lapse measurement is 25. 25 divided by 2. 25 divided by 2 will give us 12.5 minus 1. When I'm working with crush, what I always do is the person lapse measurement divided by 2 minus 1. Lapse divided by 2 minus 1 work perfectly for me when I'm working with trouser. So what I did was that I measure out the person lapse here. This is 12.5 because our lapse is 25. Then when I'm getting the crush, I use lapse divided by 2 minus 1. Then I'm going to connect the lines here. So I'm connecting it from the down part to the lapse. Then I'm going to measure out our waist band. What is our waistband? Our waistband is 26. 26 divided by, so it's going to be divided by 4. When you are working with a band, it's going to be divided by 4. 26 divided by 4, whatever it gives you, whatever the band measurement you are working with give you, mark it out. Then plus, when you mark it out like this, plus 1.5 inches. So I'm going to add 1.5 or 2 inches at the waistband for sewing allowance and stuff, because it's an elastic, because I'm going to be putting elastic. So I had plus 2 inches to the band measurement. You can decide to use 1.5 as well, but I use 2 inches in this sense. Now let me explain again. What I did on the crush is the lapse divided by 2 minus 1. So let's assume that your lapse is 25. So 25 divided by 2 will give you 12.5 minus 1. It will give you 11.5. So here I use 11.5 plus the band measurement. Then I use my French cuff to mark out the crush outside. I hope you get it to this point. Now, the next thing we are going to do now is to do our slants, the front slants. So for the front slant, I'll be using 1 inches. So at this part that I measure right now, just mark your 1 inches and mark it out as shown. Just follow this tutorial and don't worry, you are going to get it. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut it out. We are going to cut it out now. You are going to cut it out now. So just divide your laps divided by 2 minus 1. Try this method and thanks me later. So let's cut it out. So this is it after cutting the front body out. So the next thing we are going to do now is to place this front body that we cut earlier. We are going to place it on the fabric again just to cut out the back body. You understand? This is 2 pieces for the front. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut out the back body as well. We are going to cut out the back body. Just place it on another fabric just this way, and after you are done with that, the next thing you are going to do now is to add the back. We are going to add to the back body. So I'll be adding 2 inches. Just measure it out as shown. Just look at the way I'm going to be measuring it out. Just add your 2 inches all through here at this part. Mark it, make sure that it's straight so that it will not give you problem. Then connect it as shown. Connect your 2 inches as shown. When I do it, it's a little bit more than 2 inches too. I'm trying to reduce it because 2 inches is okay. 2 inches is okay. But if the person, let me explain this to you. If the trouser you are making, the person is a little bit fat, don't add 2 inches at the hip part. Make sure that it's more than 2 inches if the person is a little bit fat. Now, just look at it. They mark this. Now, I'm going to explain this. You know, when we are cutting the front piece, we slant the front piece at the waistline. The slant that we slant, return it back. Can you see? I already returned it back here. The 1 inches that I slant at the waistline of the front, return it back to the back so that the pants will lay very well on your buttock. That is on your bum bum. You understand? So this is it after making it. This is what we got. This is what we have. So it's going to have side pockets. It's going to have side pockets. So we are going to cut out the side. So let's place this aside and cut out the band. You know we removed 2 inches for the band earlier. So we are going to cut that out. And to cut that, just measure out the band, the person band measurements. What is the person band measurement? Add some inches to it. And for the breadth of the band, since you are using 2 inches, so you are going to cut out 4.5 for the width of the band. Can you see? Just mark out your 4.5. Yeah, and for the length, measure out the person band and add some inches. And after that, we are going to cut out the pocket outside and cut the side pocket. For the side pocket, we are going to be cutting 14 by 14. Just measure it out. Measure your 14 by 14 out. Make sure that you measure it 14 by the breadth, 14 by the length as well. Length and breadth 14. Measure it out. So this is for the pockets and we are done with that. Now the next thing we are going to cut out is the shirts, because we are cutting 2 pieces and we are done with the pants cutting. So remain the shirts. So we are going to cut the shirts. To cut out the shirt, let's fold our fabric. Let's fold our fabric into two. So can you see that? So fold your fabric into two as shown. So after folding it, the next thing we are going to do is you have to like measure the person. What is the person chest measurement? Because you are going to be using the bust measurement to bring out the fabric. You are going to be using the bust measurement, the biggest denomination in the person measurement. That is what we are going to be using to bring out the fabric. You understand? So I'm going to the person bust measurement plus 3 inches. That is what I'm going to be using. The person bust measurement plus 3 inches. Then I'm going to measure out the person length, the person shirt length measurement, which is 25 plus 1 inches. I added just 1 inches for sewing allowance. I added just 1 inches. That 1 inches is what I'll be using for the folding at the down part and the joining at the shoulder as well, because I'm going to be doing tiny fold at the down part. So I'm going to cut this out. So what I cut out here is the person bust measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches on fold. That is for the plus 3 inches on fold. That is for the back body. Then I'm going to cut another one for the front body. I'll be adding plus 4 inches because of the folding at the front. The front shirt, you have to like fold the front piece. So that's why I'm going to be adding 4 inches plus 2 inch sewing allowance plus the folding that I'm going to do. Can you see that? So the reason why I'm doing it, I'm adding 4 inches, 3 inches is because I've not cut it. I'm just bringing out the fabric by the time you cut it and stuff, so that you will have enough fabric. So let's cut this out. This is it. So I added 1.5 inches on fold to the front body. 1.5 inches to the front body. That is what I did. Then we are going to cut it out. Let's just cut it out. After cutting it out, then we are going to start taking our measurements one after the other. That is, we're going to be taking the shoulder measurement, the armhole measurement, the bust measurement, and the waist measurement as well. And here is our fabric now. So they are all on fold. The back is on fold and the front as well is on fold. Now the next thing we are going to do, every measurement we are taking, we are going to be taking it from the back measurement. Don't forget. So the girl shoulder is 15, then plus half inches making 16. So plus half inches 16, that is 15, that is 7.5, then plus half inches, that will make it, because it's on fold, don't forget. So this is for our shoulder measurement. Then I'm going to, for the armhole, I'll divide this place by 2 inches. Can you see that? Then I'm going to use my hand to do the armhole circumference. So this is for the armhole. Then from the armhole, I'll move to our bust measurement. Our initial bust measurement is 36. Then because it's a free shirt, so that's why I'm adding 3 inches to the body measurement, because it's a free shirt. If not so, I supposed to add just 2 inches to the measurement, but because it's a free shirt, so I make it 3 inches. Then I'm going to measure the same thing all through. except if the person have big bum. If the person have big bum, then you can put extra at this part here. You understand? So from the down part, I measure out 4 inches because of the shaping that I want to do. Can you see that? So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'll start cutting it out. So I start from the sleeve, from the shoulder rather. Then I'm going to like cut this place as well. Just trim this place a little bit. Can you see? Then we will now do this. I will now cut out our, this is like TM. I don't know. This is just like TM. Then I'm going to like, can you see? That's for the down part. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure out the neckline. So for the neckline, I'll be using 2¼ for the back neckline. Not up to 2½. I use 2¼ for the back neckline. And this place, I added 1.5 to the front body. Then for the back neckline, I'll be using 2¼ by 1 inches. That is for the back body. 2¼ by 1 inches. That is for the back body. Then for this place, that is my shoulder slope, I'll mark out 1 inches. For the front neckline, I'll be using 2¼ just the same thing, then by 3 inches. So this is, I just cut out the back neckline. I'm going to cut out the shoulder slope as well. Here's the shoulder slope. Then I'm going to cut the front neckline. When cutting the front neckline, make sure that you remove the back neckline so that you don't cut the two together. So after cutting it like this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pieces the front body. Yes, I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces. I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces. So that is that about the front, about the body. That is that about the body. The next thing I'm going to cut now is the sleeve. I'm going to cut the sleeve now. So I'm going to cut the sleeve right now. So for the sleeve, I'll be cutting out 10 inches for the length by, so I'll be cutting 10 by 10. That's what I'll be using for the sleeve, 10 by 10. Sewing it, this is what I have. So I'll be showing you guys how I sew it in the sewing tutorial. So thanks so much for watching the channel. God bless you guys and see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.